Sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi
on JRR.
Bulldog Sports page brought to you by Kaufman and Lind. Well, it took overtime, but the Celtics grabbed game one last night, Bulldog.
Yeah, but there will be no sports report until you guys apologize to me for laughing at me yesterday. Remember, you guys laughed yesterday when I suggested that Scotty Scheffler's altercation with police would give him some street cred with the general population. You guys guffawed, scoffed at me. Well, we did a poll yesterday. Right. Actually, we do a bunch of Twitter polls every day on our show. You can vote on those polls, by the way, at 96.9 Game on the Twitter/X machine. Anyway, the poll we did yesterday was worded thusly, guys. Will golfer Scotty Scheffler's altercation with police actually give him street cred and make him more popular? Your options were yes, he's no longer boring, or no, it hurts his nice guy image. And you know what won the poll, right?
Of course, yes, did. But it's
hundreds of votes. Yes, he has more street cred and is no longer boring. Won with 53.1%. I want an apology today, guys.
Okay. I'm not going to apologize first because yes, it made him more popular, but street cred is where we had the problem. You were making it like he was in Thug Life.
So basically, with your school of thought, you know, like for example, this morning, John Young Parkway shut down westbound on I-4 because of an accident. Rather than get diverted there, you should just ignore the closure and drive on through.
I'm just telling you what the poll said.
Okay.
And plus, the Louisville mayor yesterday said that yes, the police officer and their protocols are being reviewed and investigated by the city because I guess there was a problem with the body cam not being turned on and all this other stuff.
It was an overreaction, 100%. And yes, it made him more popular because everybody knew it's like, hey, this wasn't that insane of a thing to be jumping on the car and everything else. I'm not saying what Scotty did was right, but I've always been a Scotty fan. You know that.
Street cred. Yeah, street cred. All right. Jason Tatum had some street cred last night. He scores 36 points, including 10 in overtime. The Celtics rally in game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat the Indiana Pacers 133-128. Man, I thought Indiana had this game. They were up 117-114 with the ball, 30-some seconds left. Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers' young star, bounces the ball off his foot. He's not even being guarded. Bounces the ball off his foot, turns it over. Boston's able to do nothing with the ball, all right? So they're still up. Pacers are still up by 3, and they couldn't get the ball inbounds with 10 seconds left. That allowed Jaylen Brown to hit the game-tying three-pointer in regulation, and boom, Celtics win it in overtime. So the Pacers let that one get away big time last night on the road in Boston, but they did compete with them. So that's the good news for the Pacers. Western Conference Finals begin tonight. Dallas at Minnesota. That's an 8:30 p.m. tip-off tonight. Of course, I'll be watching something else tonight. I'll be watching my Florida Panthers take on the New York Rangers in the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup playoffs. What is that game? 8 p.m. tip-off. All right, puck drop, right?
Yes, it's 8 o'clock.
Yes, it's a puck tip-off.
Yeah, puck drop.
Hey, Bulldog, so this NIL kid is back suing Florida.
Jaden Rashada, the much-traveled California high school quarterback, filed a lawsuit Tuesday against Gators coach Billy Napier, the Gators' big-time heavy-hitting booster Hugh Hathcock, and others in the now-defunct Gator Collective, claiming they defrauded him out of millions of dollars by backing out on a promised $13.85 million NIL agreement. If you read my column today, I'm not buying this, all right? First of all, Jaden Rashada backed out on Miami, okay? He originally committed to Miami. Miami reportedly offered him a $9.5 million deal, so he agreed to that. So he backed out on that deal to take this Gator deal, and now he's suing the Gators because of they backed out on their deal.
And then he backed out of that. Then he went to Arizona State. Now he's at Georgia.
Yeah, he went to 3 different high schools. Now he's on his, he's been tied to 4 different colleges in less than 2 years. So the guy's much traveled. He's got Rusty Hardin as his attorney, and we all know Rusty Hardin. He's the guy who was defending Deshaun Watson. So again, did the Gators screw up here? Yeah, big time. But I don't know that they're legally liable to pay him anything.
No, and if they are,
there was a contract, and there was an out clause in the contract, and they exercised the out clause in the contract. So.
If they're liable in theory, well, then he should be able to get sued by Miami.
And then the big time Miami booster John Ruiz said, "Wait a minute, we didn't offer him $9.5 million." What happened was he played the Gators like a bunch of fools, and it worked. He got the Gators thought that the Miami offered him $9.5 million. We don't know what's going on in the NIL world. It's unbelievable. So, by the way, speaking of that, another big college football story or college athletic story, the ACC and the Big 12 both yesterday voted to approve a settlement, the House versus the NCAA lawsuit, which is going to change the face of college sports. They voted to approve a settlement yesterday. What's that settlement going to mean? It means the NCAA and the power conferences are going to have to pay $2.7 billion in reparations to pay former athletes who were not allowed to sign NIL deals. It also means that starting in 2025, schools are going to start putting aside at least $20 million per year to directly pay college athletes. You want to talk about changing the paradigm of college athletics? This lawsuit is doing it right here. So,
where's all this revenue going to come from?
Well, I'll tell you where it's going to come. Where I think it's going to come from is I think these schools are going to start cutting their non-revenue sports. I think they're going to start cutting, volleyball, track and field, all these sports that don't make money. Only one sport really makes money in college athletics, and that's college football, and at some schools, college basketball.
That stinks.
Makes a little bit of money.
Those kids who busted their ass in lacrosse and soccer and everything else.
That's where I think it's going to come from.
College, very different animal these days from top to bottom, Bulldog.
No question. I miss the good old days.
Mike Bianchi, host of Open Mic over on AM 740 and FM 96.9. The Game takes time out of his show each morning to join us here for the sports page on JRR, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
Listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday morning, 7:30 on FM 96.9. The Game. You can catch extended versions of Under Oath by searching for Under Oath with Jeff Kaufman on your favorite streaming platform.
Lynch and Taco on demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.
From the boat.